Oh, well, good afternoon. It's Thursday, the 10th of June 2021. Now I'm going to put on a link to a movie. I had just had a look at a short doco on YouTube about these so-called tic-tac UFOs, or UAP as they're calling them, unidentified aerial phenomena. Now, I've made other videos talking about what I believe is proof of aliens, and I won't go over the entire subject now, but enough, shall we say, that what is the definition of proof? And the answer is overwhelming evidence for something. Now, I went over all these issues before. And I think we have overwhelming evidence, and it'll be further developed after this report to Congress from the Pentagon and all the organisations such as NSA and CIA, I believe, or whatever it might be, the authorities, agencies, into the subject and what they know about the subject. Now, we've had a little bit of a preview, let's say. We think that they will not say outright, oh, these look like alien craft. Because the reason they won't say it is because I can hardly think when I've got things in the background here, but anyway, it's because many, many years ago, in fact it was the 1930s, there was a radio play by Orson Welles called War of the Worlds. It was only just on the radio, you know. It was supposed to be people from Mars came and invaded, and it was a big thing. And people went berserk, and they imagined all sorts of things, and some people killed themselves, and it was a terrible mess. Well, then they decided, oh, we can't tell people about these things, even when it started to happen in the 1940s. And then there was a Roswell crash, which they continuously tried to cover up and claim was I've seen it over and over. It was a secret tracking special balloons that were tracking Soviet detonation of atomic bombs and all that sort of nonsense. But then, on the other hand, there were many, many years of investigation into the subject by Stanton Friedman, he's an astrophysicist who's now passed away. He did a lot of work on the subject, and many other people have done that to show, and then that aliens exist, that the crash craft, the aliens were taken away, the craft was taken away, and there was some back engineering done. You've heard about, well, Area 51 is not for that, by the way. It's a place called S4, which is, you've probably heard of Bob Lazar giving his accounts. They're very, very believable and so on, but I think, and I've had other family and friends who are still cynical and disbelieving on the subject, and one of them is John Edwards, who probably will not even look at this video, that, oh no, you can't prove it. Oh no. Well, I'll say this. The video link I'll put on will tell you a couple of things. One of them is that the pilots who filmed the craft, and they described them as craft, they described them as vehicles even. The tic-tac UFOs, or UAPs, whatever, about the size of an F-18, the same size as their aircraft roughly, were in some cases, one was under the water by a few metres, and you could see it as you fly over it, and one was flying at a low altitude, and this pilot decided to go and check it out. And that's very, very well known. You could probably see his interviews on 60 Minutes and so on. Well, I'm going to check this out. So he's flying around of course in a spiralling motion, going down to have a look at it. Well, the craft turned and started flying up towards him. Also, spiralling motion. flying up to meet him. Now, when it did get to his altitude, it was like a stunning and amazing situation. It zoomed away. Now, ship's radar, very, very accurate, extremely high-tech. People who are operating it are not idiots. They were tracking this, and they said, zap, it's gone. Oh, I'll tell you where it is. You were heading for a secret. It was a rendezvous point 60 miles further west. This object is waiting for you 16 miles away. You got there in a couple of seconds. Now you'd think, well, how fast could that be going? And this talk, and you can prove beyond a shadow of a doubt now, the talk about, oh, it could be Russian drones. Oh, excuse me, it could be Chinese drones. Well, I made a little offer to this friend of mine, John Edwards. I said, I'll give you $50. In fact, I'll give him a lot more than that. But if you can find a drone the size of a F-18 that flies at, you've got to wait for it, 46,000 miles an hour. It was measured at. You find a drone that does that and I'll give you the money. Like, prove it. Show me the specifications, and here's a company that makes these drones and it's got a top speed of 50,000 miles an hour. Well, I can tell you now, you can bet on the lot of bottom dollar, as the saying goes, that doesn't exist. So where does it come from? Now, you have other commentators saying, well, I can't, one of them is become very, very well known on this. I can't speculate. They try to egg him on and urge him on. Can you tell us what you think about it? Is it alien? Oh, I can't say that. Well, it could be from outer space. Yes, it could be from outer space. Oh, it could be from interdimensional. It could be something we couldn't imagine what it could be. Well, you say, oh, that's great. It could be anything. However, he's on a non-disclosure agreement, and he won't break. He said, I'm not going to breach that non-disclosure agreement. So I accept that. But this pilot, and you'll see, I'd like you to have a look at via the link that I'm going to provide. She flies commercial aircraft now, I guess, 767, 787, whatever she flies, right? She said she gave a list of jet fighters that she had flown over the years, and then she gave a description along the way of, oh, here's this pyramid-shaped object flying around. It has no wings. It's got no exhaust of any kind. It shouldn't fly, in other words. And here it is, and they've said, yes, it's real. Oh, and the Tic-Tac UFOs, oh, she said, I wish I'd seen them. I didn't see it. She wasn't working for the Air Force. It wasn't the Air Force, it was the US Navy. But they were doing 46,000 miles an hour. You've got to say that again slowly, if you know what I mean. You're doing the what? You what? So I think that with the radar evidence and the on-deck evidence of people standing on the decks of the aircraft carrier, and pilots, about 3 or 4 pilots with 2 in each plane, going over and seeing all this and encountering this up close, that is proof, in my opinion. Now, if someone would like to get back to me on this in their comments, and I'd respect or civil and polite comments, if you'd like to get back to me and say, drone number so-and-so, type so-and-so, built by Joe Bloggs Engineering and wherever. You do that. I'd be happy to hear about it. There's no country in the world that can produce that type of thing. Now, I just thought I'd outline that, but treat that as something of a preview, if you like, of what this video has to say. I'm just saying to all concerned, a craft of that nature cannot be from Earth. Now, the woman pilot I was just telling you about is not on a non-disclosure agreement. She can just say, I'm telling you, these things are going too fast. They go from standing still in one point, move to another point at 46,000 miles an hour and stop again. And by the way, the ship's radar tracked one of these devices coming from space and then sitting at 80,000 feet, hovering and dropping to 50 feet above sea level. Frozen again. Stop, drop. How fast? Well, you do your mathematics, because it was all done in less than 1 second. So no aircraft or drone or anything else on the face of the earth can travel at that speed. Now, I am very prepared to accept the US Navy pilot's evidence. I'm prepared to accept the evidence by the radar operators on the warships, in other words, the aircraft carrier. So I'm prepared to accept highly experienced pilots who are not on any disclosure agreements as proof. So you guys can make your own mind up what you think about that, and if you're going to dismiss that, I'm amazed. But I'll make another video, let's say after the report is due, by the way, the 25th of this month, from the Pentagon and all the agencies, like I said, to the US Senate. Now they're saying, well, maybe it takes longer than that to have more information, more analysis, etc., but they'll provide the information and then open the floodgates, in my opinion, for more people to come in on this. It's accepted now, much more than ever was, and some of the media reports about little green men and rubbish like that, they're still scoffing at it, and I've even seen it on that Planet America program. Great program, by the way, but tin hat wearing brigades, they said. Not anymore. This has now been taken far more seriously. And I don't care if certain family members and friends say, I don't care what the evidence is, everything you've talked about, none of it will convince me that it actually has happened. Well, you might as well be talking to people who believe in the flat earth. And there are not too many of those, thank God. To me, the evidence is so powerful that it's like, as I said, someone talking about the earth being flat and swearing that it is when we know it's not. I put those kind of people into that category. So I just thought I'd make those few comments, and I'd be happy to talk to anyone via the comments section about this. So I do enjoy the program that I'm putting on. Thanks for viewing.